What's up, MFFLs? Happy Monday. Welcome into Mavericks Today by Chat Sports. I am Harrison Graham, and on today's show, get you caught up on the latest Mavericks news and rumors, including a major trade rumor that is circulating. Bleacher Report put out 5 shocking trades that could happen sooner or later in the NBA, and guess who they have sending to the Dallas Mavericks? Kyrie Irving. Yes, that Kyrie Irving who's been suspended by the Nets and posting weird stuff on social media. Here was the trade idea. Tim Hardaway Jr. and Dwight Powell. And what's frustrating or really funny about this is, like, for a pure basketball player standpoint, obviously Kyrie Irving for Tim Hardaway, Dwight Powell is a steal, but hell no. I don't want anything to do with this SOB. He's an absolute joke with what he's been doing on social media. I mean, we should have seen this all coming, by the way, when the guy came out and said the earth was flat. I mean, that was bad enough. And then since then, it's just gone downhill. Look, I'm not saying guys don't deserve second chances and they can't improve as human beings. I'm not saying any of that stuff. Like, I'm not saying the guy should be in prison or anything. I'm just saying I don't want him representing my basketball team. I'm sorry. I don't want Kyrie Irving. I have no interest in him. I would rather save up down the line for someone else. Now, obviously, he's on the final year of his deal, and he's a free agent after this year, so it gives you cap flexibility moving forward. But, like, I would almost rather make this trade and then just send Kyrie home and not play him just for the cap space beyond this year. Like, that's how much I don't want him to play for the Dallas Mavericks. I could not get on board with this move. We know the talent. We know how great he is. He's not shooting the ball great from 3 this year, but he's an excellent player, all that stuff. But I don't think he's ever been a leader. I don't think he's a great teammate. I don't stand for some of the shit he says, if not most of the shit he says online. It's not worth it. I mean, it's just not worth the distraction. It's not worth bringing that energy into your locker room. If he came in and kept his head on straight, could he help this team? Yeah, he probably could, but I also don't think there's a trade market for him. Like, until he comes out, and apparently, he's had good conversations with their owner and a couple other things on, sharing the Amazon movie that is antisemitic and all that stuff. Until he comes out and says, I was wrong, and I'm and all this, like, these, like, half-hearted things he's doing, like, I don't buy them. Like, and by the way, Brooklyn giving him a specific list of things to do to return, like, is that genuine? It's like your boss tells you to do this to work and you do it. Does that make you, like, a good dude for doing it? I don't know. It's just checking a box to me. So I don't think he's worth it. The player's unbelievable, but I'm just not interested. And by the way, Spencer Dinwiddie, who the Mavs did get from the Wizards, former net as well, he's been hooping, man. He's been hooping. I would say he's done more than an adequate job in terms of, like, filling that Jalen Brunson void. Now, obviously, you had both of them last year for the second half of the season. I'm not saying you don't miss Brunson. You certainly do. But Spencer Dinwiddie has been perfectly fine. I mean, early in the season, we were saying Christian Wood was this team's second best player. It's Spencer Dinwiddie, at least right now. I mean, he's been that good over the past few games here, shooting the ball really well from 3. Like, the guy's never been a great three-point shooter, but since joining the Mavericks, he's been lights out. I think he's like 40-something% since being a Mav last year, 45% this year. I mean, that's unconscious. I expect that to flatten out a bit, but even if it's 37, 38, 39%, that's a really good number for Spencer Dinwiddie. Now, who wins this trade if it were to go down? Again, if you take all the garbage out of it, sure, the Mavericks win it, but there's a reason this trade idea is being proposed. Like, if you saw this trade coming into this year, you'd be like, obviously I would take Kyrie. Sure, he's got some questionable baggage under him, but that's gone from questionable baggage to untradeable baggage, in my opinion. Type DAL for the Mavs, BKN for the Brooklyn Nets. Hit that subscribe button here on Dallas Mavericks Today, trying to grow this channel so we can bring you more Mavericks news and rumors all season long, up to the trade deadline, the playoffs, the offseason. We got you covered on an annual basis with multiple videos per week. So hit that sub button today and help us grow the channel here at Mavericks Today. All right, let's take a look at the numbers when it comes to Luka Doncic, because in wins versus losses, and this probably shouldn't surprise anybody, he's been a different player when they do win versus when they lose. All right, let's look at it. When they win, he's averaging almost 38 points, almost 8 rebounds, 9 assists. And obviously he's shooting the ball better. I mean, if you look at his splits, that is obvious. I mean, he's still putting up great numbers in losses, 30, 10, and 7. But the shooting is obviously waning there a little bit. He even admitted during that 2-game road trip that some of the fatigue is starting to settle in, which obviously isn't a great sign when you think of an 82-game season. So I think there will be some load management, especially with his usage rate at some point in time. That's pretty much the same either way, wins or losses, 39% in wins, 40% in losses. He has a lot on his plate. I mean, there's no doubt this team goes as he goes. When he's on, they can beat anybody because then teams have to sag on him. He finds open shooters, and, that opens everything else. When he's off, you don't have the horses to win when he's not playing well. I mean, that's what it comes down to. That's why I've said all year, I don't think this team can win a championship, but I wouldn't completely rule it out. If he was out of his mind for an entire playoff run, he is unstoppable. He is an unstoppable force, and if he gets just enough help from role players, you've got a chance. That is just a fact. Now, I will say this. The role players got to play better. I mean, Reggie Bullock, this is kind of a trend for his career. He doesn't play well in October, November, December for some reason. Then he just randomly is a 40% 3-and-D guy. I don't know why that is, but go look at his splits historically. That's what he does. I'm most disappointed here in Dodo. Dorian Finney-Smith, who I'm not worried about him, but this is a guy who should be, one of your top 3 or 4 players probably, and he's not playing like it. The defense is obviously going to be there, but he's not making open shots. I thought he was going to have a career high scoring-wise. His scoring is down. His three-point shot is way down. It's early, but that's been disappointing. Tim Hardaway, he's kind of just this streaky guy now. He's had some big games. He's had some clunkers, more clunkers than big games. You hope that percentage kind of can get up to 36, 37% a little bit more consistently. But when Luka is playing the way he is, and he's in the zone, and he's scoring 35, 40 a night, and teams are crashing in on him, you got to knock down open shots for him, man. I mean, that's the recipe for this team. It's your superstar and then all the pieces around him doing their part. He's not getting enough from the pieces around him outside of Spencer Dinwiddie right now. It's still a little bit of Christian Wood, too. He's kind of hit and miss at the moment, but those wings and guards playing around him have just got to make shots. It really is that simple, especially for Finney-Smith and Bullock, who in the playoffs were great. And offensively, if they're not making shots, they're holes on the court. It's like Josh Green in the playoffs last year. That's why they couldn't play him, because it was 4-on-5 offensively with Josh Green. Now, I think teams respect Bullock and Dorian enough where they're not just going to let him shoot wide open jumpers to the level that Utah was letting Josh Green just sit in the corner uncontested. But they've got to start making them too. Like this 29%, 32%, that's just not going to cut it. Those percentages have to start heading north quickly in this season. All right, who are you most confident in these 3 role players? Type 10 for Dorian Finney-Smith, 11 for Tim Hardaway Jr., 25 for Reggie Bullock. I would still type 10 for Dodo. I think he'll be fine. He's a proven commodity the last few years. I like Tim Hardaway, but he was hurt last year, and he hasn't been playing great this year. Bullock, he's a streaky role player. That's kind of what he is. So 10 for Dodo, 11 for Hardaway, 25 for Reggie Bullock. You look at this upcoming stretch here. You got the Clippers on Tuesday night at home, Rockets on Wednesday. A little birdie telling me that Luka may or may not sit out that game because you got 4 games in 6 days there with back-to-back against the Nuggets. You want him to play in that one. I mean, the Celtics, too. 4 of those 5 games are tough, and if you're going to win one without Luka, Houston gives you the best chance to do that. So, and then you have at Toronto and at Milwaukee. So those are really tough games coming up here for the Mavericks. Tough stretch, not easy at all. It would be nice to beat the Clippers on Tuesday night, and then if you can get away with not playing Luka and win that game, that really sets you up for the next 5 because those 5 are going to be tough. I mean, if you win 2 or 3 of those 5, I think you'd be pretty happy with this upcoming stretch. Split against Denver, maybe beat Boston at home, and then you maybe split the roadies. That'd be very, very nice. All right, predict the Mavs record over the next 7 games. Tell us what you think down below in the comment section. I mean, you at least got to get 3 out of 7. I mean, ideally 4-3, 5-2. That'd be great. No worse than 3-4. That's how you got to look at this. So 3 or 4 wins out of the next 7 is what I'll say. I'll say 3-4 to be exact. That doesn't bury you. 4-3 would be great. 4-3 would be great. Let me know what you guys think. All right, that's going to do it. Appreciate all the real ones out there. Spam MFFL if you are a real one, and we'll see you next time here at Mavericks Today.